You're listening to the Free to Be Mindful podcast, which provides bite-sized tips for busy parents, educators, and anyone working with kids. These real talk conversations focus on mindful living, mental health, and personal growth, helping all to learn, grow, and inspire with mindfulness in mind. I'm your host, Vanessa de Jesus Guzman, educator, licensed professional counselor, entrepreneur, and mom. I'm passionate about helping folks live life with peace of mind and ease of heart while not losing their, well, you know, here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 153 of the Free to Be Mindful podcast. I hope that you're feeling good, looking good, and doing better in this world than you were yesterday. So in our day and age, whether it's on social media, billboards, or even on bumper stickers, if people still use those, we see many messages such as be happy or choose happy. And I know I have it up in my office as well. And if you Google the word happy, you get feeling or showing pleasure or contentment, or having a sense of confidence in or satisfaction with a person, arrangement, or situation. But if I were to ask you what happiness means to you, how would you answer it? If 100 people or more were polled, like Family Feud status, we'd get a variety of responses because happiness can come from different sources. I would personally define it as experiencing gratitude for people, moments, and for what you have in the right here and right now. And I use that definition because I don't know if I've ever experienced gratitude with a bad attitude. But before we can experience happiness outside of ourselves, we must first feel it in our minds, in our bodies, and in our souls, almost doing a check-in to see if we are truly ready for that mental and emotional well-being or physical sense of enjoyment. So this week, I want to focus on what happiness means and how we can cultivate it at a time when things might be, well, to simply say it, not so happy or feeling meh, as the kids would say nowadays. The things we hear on the news, the pressures we face daily, the struggles of keeping a work-life balance, and just the typical and general hardships that we go through, all of these things can feel like burdens. So with all of these outside factors or even internal stress, how is it that we can choose to be happy? And is that even a thing? I do want to challenge you, though, in thinking that being happy is simpler than we think. Now, of course, there are chemical imbalance, and there are folks that have, let's say, diagnoses of depression that you can't find it to be happy all of the time, but you can still experience moments. When we think of the state of happiness, we sometimes limit ourselves because we feel that everything has to be perfect all the time for us to be happy. And really, this just isn't true. Because, for example, if we think about sadness or anger, it can be something small or even big that triggers these emotions. Similarly, we can be happy about specific things or little achievements, and even fleeting moments can bring upon some happiness. We can have bad days, but still have special moments that make us smile. We can be going through a rough patch in life, but still be happy that we have family or friends that are there with us during this process. Happiness is much more than what's on the surface, because it isn't just about having the best or being the best at something. It's about being able to reframe your mindset and choosing to love things that you do have. True wealth comes from everything you do to enrich your soul and create relationships and the bonds that you build and the passions that you have and the positive energy that you instill that leaves behind a positive impact on the world. All of those things can bring upon happiness. The pursuit of happiness isn't a final destination. It truly is a journey and a pursuit that's worth treasuring. The pursuit is what brings us happiness, and the end goals are just celebrations along the way. Another thing to keep in mind is that temporary aspects of life's pleasure can be a good thing. And even as I say that, I think life's pleasures equals ice cream, and the temporary aspect of ice cream can indeed be a good thing because if left permanently to eat it all the time, I would love it, but it probably would not result in all good things. Sometimes we can feel sad because we know that nothing good lasts forever. However, sometimes that is, in fact, what makes moments special. When we think of first, like first kisses, first crushes, the first day of school, first jobs, all of those things, we know that are milestones in our personal journeys. And similarly, temporary feelings, adventures, or fun nights might come to an end, but we can be happy that they happened and remember those good times. And bad times pass as well. When we're facing certain struggles and when we aren't feeling the best about ourselves or perhaps about some situations, we have to trust in the process and understand that there is sunshine that comes after the rainstorm. Even if the rainstorm is very intense and even if it lasts a long time, it does eventually pass, even if just for a moment. There is beauty in healing. And one day, the pain and the weight of the burdens we carry won't feel so heavy. So, knowing that sometimes things are out of our hands and not in our control releases the expectations we have. We just spoke about expectations recently in episode 152. And as a result, that reduces the pressures we face. So instead of thinking of temporary as a bad thing, we can appreciate that we got to have the moment or the memory in the first place. Also, happiness is just as much an action as it is a feeling. We boost serotonin and feel happy by doing things that are good for our mental and physical well being. And adding some form of physical exercise and mental self care to our routine is essential to feeling good as well. Making goals with intentions and then making the time to purposely celebrate when you reach them or making peace with changing them can also bring upon happiness. Sometimes we almost think of things as transactional and feel hurt or sad when we fall short of goals that we intend for ourselves. But instead of thinking about goals as some huge thing that we have to reach in order to be happy, we should think of them as motivating tidbits that show us that we care about what it is that we're working on. And if the plan, goal, or direction ever changes, that's okay. And we should still celebrate how far we've come and the fact that we even tried. Know that despite of taking active steps toward happiness, you aren't going to be in a constant state of bliss all the time. And that's perfectly normal. Life is meant to have a variety of emotions, and you really can't have one without the other. So it is normal and natural to feel all types of feelings all the time, and remembering that there are no such things as good feelings or bad feelings. All feelings are completely natural. Remember that too, happiness can feel conditional, but we can work on this with a few simple reminders of what truly matters in life. Because when we think of things such as what others say or feel about us, self criticism, worried feelings, intense sad feelings, feelings of insecurity or perfectionism, when we base our happiness on other people, whether it's in a relationship or friendship or work or somebody that isn't close to you, when we think of situations that happen that hurt or impact our mindset, all of these things, my friends, can make it hard to feel happy. I get that. Because after all, how can we feel happy if we care so much about what other people think, or if we base our happiness upon something or someone else, or feel ourselves getting drained by our own thoughts? It can be challenging. So it's important to realize that happiness shouldn't be conditional. Your worth isn't defined by someone else, nor is it defined by an unhealthy thought in your mind. Even though your words hold power and relationships are indeed important, you are your own person. And you should remind yourself to keep that sense of self and love yourself despite what anyone says or the flaws you think you have. There will be hard times. That's a part of life. Whether you see it happening in the world or it affects someone you know personally, it's impossible to be happy 24/7. Whether it is taking time for yourself, doing therapy, doing things you love, spending time with people you care for, all of these things, including carving out time for healing in a way that works for you, is what is going to help you on this journey. And if you think about it, I wonder if you even realize that you are happy. Sometimes there are just emotions that link to happiness that you feel almost every day and not even realize it. So, for example, gratitude, being thankful for the people in your life, for the things that you've done, for the places you've gone to, and everything you've experienced or have yet to experience. Kindness, being kind to yourself and leaving a positive impact on your community or on others. The feeling of satisfaction, that feel good feeling when you enjoy things, whether it is a reward or reaching a goal or just feeling great about yourself. And joy and laughter, having happiness and just joy about the right here and right now and whatever makes you smile and make others smile as well. When we expand our awareness to what we're truly experiencing, not just in our minds, but in our bodies and in our souls, we can hone in more on these parallel feelings that can lead to happiness as well. And lastly, my friends, living a mindful life can be the key to a happy heart and mind. Because when you're truly in the moment, it's hard to worry about the past or stress about the future because you're focused on the present, because you're not thinking about all the other things that are happening in life. And let's be real, there are indeed a lot of things to think about. And even the mundane stuff, thinking about dropping your kids off at work or to school events, your relationship, cooking, cleaning, working, etc. Life is so busy, but we can be intentional about just enjoying the right here, right now. And that is truly essential to not only a happy living, but also a healthy living. Mindful living lets you soak in the moments that really matter. And years from now, you won't worry about the one bad day you had at work or some random fight that you may have had with someone or when someone cut you off driving. But by being present in each moment, you will cultivate memories that you'll want to remember. Movie nights, playing sports together, going to dinners or parties, or even just shutting down electronics for some you time. There are many ways that you can live a mindful life. And some ways to be mindful are to limit distractions and really focus on the activities that you're doing right now or the people that you're in the same room with. Try to detach yourself from time to time from habitual things that you may do, whether it's checking your phone constantly or thinking excessively about something that isn't happening at the current moment. It can be a challenge, but you've got this. It's totally doable. Happiness is a beautiful thing, but so is everything we do and everything we experience along the way. Take a moment to think about what happiness means to you and celebrate that. Whether it's in the form of the relationships you have or the person you've grown into, an activity you love, or a dream that you're proud of. And remember again that happiness is a journey. By investing in yourself, enjoying the small things, and really being intentional about the memories you create, being kind to yourself and the people around you, it is in those things that you give happiness its true meaning. I now invite you to join me on this short guided meditation. So right now, regardless of where you are or what you're doing, think of an activity, an event, a place, or a person who has brought you happiness in the past. Maybe it's a vacation. Maybe it's a loved one or a child. Maybe it's a promotion or celebrating an achievement of some sorts. Think of this moment, of this person, of this event or celebration, and hold that in your mind. See how it perhaps changes your face. Do you feel lighter between your eyebrows? Does it bring a smile across your face or even a small smirk? Do you feel your eyes squinting a little bit more? Or some looseness in your jaw? And after you become more aware of what's happening physically in your face, take a moment to see as you continue to think about that person, that event, that celebration, that place, that memory, and see if you feel anything different in your heart and in the rest of your body. Know that when we cultivate and are intentional about thinking of things that aid in our happiness, then we ourselves create that space to experience happiness. And when we do, pay attention to the way that you show up in life with your loved ones, at work, even when you're on your own. And know that you can take those feelings and implement them in whatever pockets of life whenever you so desire. Wishing you a happy and great week. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. It would mean a ton if you took this moment to review the Free to Be Mindful podcast on the platform you catch your favorite shows. That quick and easy act lets me know what you enjoy, and it helps others find the podcast too. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you can listen along next week. In the meantime, I welcome you to catch me on social media at Counselor V de Jesus. And as always, remember, in a world where you are free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next week.